Hello, everyone. Welcome to your September reading for the September lunar cycle. This reading is for the listeners of the Mediocre Mystic podcast. Always an honor to read for all of you and to support Grace and all of her musings that I just love. So, what do we have in store for September? So pulled a card from the Gentle Tarot because we've got so much going on in the world right now. We need the Gentle Tarot right now. I mean, sometimes I need a more biting reading, like one that really kind of gets me, like makes me pay attention. And for that, I will go to like Oracle of the Mermaids or, something like that. But right now, we got to keep it low key. So we're going to the Gentle Tarot. And the card I pulled is the Three of Thunder. Three of Thunder. Now, I love the art on this card because it's not, a artistic heart. It's an actual heart. The Three of Thunder, equivalent to the Three of Swords in the tarot. This is the card of the broken heart. This is the card of the realization of loss. So it's not really considered a happy card, but it is part of the journey. It is part of the healing. To get from the ace to the king, we've got to go through each of the processes before we sit on the throne. And this is a crucial part of the process. So for this lunar cycle, what we are looking at is getting on the other side of some of the losses and heartaches that we've been carrying around because we're just not willing to let them go. Now, listen, this card, I was not happy to pull it. I just went through a breakup in April that was absolutely gut-wrenching, traumatic, terrible. And like it really pulled me down in a way that I didn't expect. I consider myself stronger than that. I should be able to be resilient and stand tall through all the things, and I've done all the work and all of those messages I was giving myself. But here's the thing. When we get taken down by heartache, when we get taken down by despair, when we get taken down by the emotions we feel from a loss, we have to move away from the story and the narrative that this is weakness, that this is a sign that something's wrong with us. We have to normalize grief. Grief is a part of our process. You can't feel overwhelming joy unless you have known overwhelming grief. And I'm not saying I'm not an everything happens for a reason person. Things just are what they are. That's who I am. That's the person I am. Things just are what they are. We have amazing things that happen in our life. We have tragic things that happen in our life. That is part of our human experience in this 3D world. But grief is just part of what keeps us human. The ability to feel uncomfortable feelings, the ability to sit with huge amounts of discomfort does build resilience in us, but it's also part of what keeps us human. The people that we see in the world right now, who we look at what they're doing and saying, and we're just like, how can anyone be that cruel? Those are people who have denied themselves the experience of really feeling loss, of really feeling the emotions associated with abandonment, with being completely betrayed. with being completely left out, with being completely discarded, neglected, all of those things. All of those people are walking around in avoidance with these defensive personalities, and they're like, I don't want to have to look at anyone suffering, so let's just pretend those people don't exist and let's not have any compassion. Grief is part of what keeps us human. So this lunar cycle, we want to honor that grief. It's the only way to get to the resilience side of it. So at this new moon, what you want to ask yourself is, what do I need to mourn? What do I need to mourn? What do I need to just let myself feel? And then we're going to, at the full moon, we're going to let go, not of the grief. We can't let go of the grief. Loss is what loss is. It will always be loss. Silver linings, they only outline the gray, right? The gray is still there. But in order to get to the other side of that, we let go of grief and loss and abandonment and betrayal and neglect becoming part of our identity. So we let go of, instead of this is what I feel, this is who I am. We let go of that. We let go of feeling like we could have done something different to make them have not neglected us, to make that experience different. We let go of guilt and shame that we feel over circumstances and things that we had no control over. Or if you did have control over it, if you are sitting with grief that you hurt someone, then your gift of expansion at the full moon of this cycle is to embrace better. Your gift to your humanity and to your self-reflection, where you realize, like, I did this. I'm doing a podcast right now that for the Evangelical Anti-Devotional that talks about the way we always get asked, who hurt you? When people find out we left the faith and we left our religion. And I was like, it's not about who hurt me. It's about who I hurt. I carry this deep weight of the number of people I harmed through my evangelical beliefs. That was real. And I need to acknowledge that. I don't need to forget that. But what I can do is give that part of my life, that part of my humanity, the gift of better. So now I do better. And every time I do better, doesn't make up for all the people I harmed. It doesn't like give me a hall pass to just do whatever. But what it does do is recognize that in my humanity, I can self-reflect and change and do more and do better. So this lunar cycle is about us getting on the other side of our grief identity, our guilt, our shame, the things that sometimes we associate with the things that we're grieving. And how do we move forward? How do we align? How do we acknowledge our humanity and enhance it, expand it? What do we want to expand? Compassion, passion, authenticity, integrity, gentleness, kindness. I think those are called the fruits of the spirit in my old religion, right? All of those things. So we work actively on expanding those things. And that is the gift of the Three of Thunder, the Three of Swords. That is the gift that it gives us, is the ability to see loss and to use it as a catalyst to move us forward in a way that not only helps us, but helps other people, helps the people that we come in contact with, that we connect with. 3 is a really significant number. And so I also will encourage you to be on the lookout for things in 3s this lunar cycle. So look for things to group up and group things up yourself. If you are going to give donations, split that, give it in a 3, give it to 3 different places. Look for things coming to you in 3s. Look for those patterns, look for those synchronicities. Listen, I don't know how it works. I just know when I first became a midwife eons ago, somebody told me like things that I would see in birth, like you'll see it in 3s. And I was like, okay, whatever. And it does. It does happen like that. And listen, I realize that I understand what the RAS system is. I understand that. But, you know, I don't know what it is that's out there on the other side of evangelicalism. I don't know what it is that's out there. Is there a force, the universe, I just know that there are sometimes synchronicities and synergies and alignments that I can't explain, but that are more than coincidence, right? So acknowledging those things and seeing them and accepting them as a message from the universe is part of what I love about being human, to just be able to look at it and see if I can figure it out. And if I can't, just accepting it for what it is. So this lunar cycle, I'm just checking my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. So the theme of this lunar cycle is fracture and repair. We're setting the bone that was broken. We're aligning it so that it can heal. And then we are doing the physical therapy to make it stronger. That's what we're doing with our heart for this lunar cycle. I would love to hear from you and how this reading affected you. Did it resonate with you? Are you seeing this happening in your life? Shoot me a DM over at the Evangelical Anti-Devotional and let me know. And if you want a reading for yourself, we can chat about that there. Thank you again for listening, for allowing me to read for you. Thank you, Grace, for inviting me into your wonderful realm of listeners. I hope that you have an amazing lunar cycle, one that's full of wonder and magic and healing.